So much loving guidance, no?
Yeah, true. Jai Gurudev. I would like to share something very beautiful which happened today. My daughter, she has been uh, listening to Chayana's Bhagavad Gita, which was for some time was available on YouTube, and she really liked it. Though we had books and all, she never used to be interested in. She's a psychology student, so I used to tell her like, you know, this is the psychology, mother of psychology. Why don't you read? But she never used to do that. But somehow Chayana's discourses has appealed to her, and now she's listening audio, this thing which I think has been recorded long back, maybe 6 7 years back. And today she was really, I mean, what we are discussing in Manana, she was discussing the same things with me, and I'm so happy that she's got into this and she's trying to learn. And then she was asking me, these are only the concepts now, and how do I bring it into my actions? The same questions we keep asking each other. Thank you so much.
Wow, that's really dream come true. Really nice.
Really blessed. Om Sahana Bhavatu Sahanau Bhunaktu Saha Viryankaravavahai Tejasvinavadhitamastu ma vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Chaiva Tato Jayamudirayet. Jai Gurudev.
Hari Om, Brahmaraji, just one, I had to ask Nanaji. Now, as the Gnan comes, it is not like little or more. It is just like a opening of our eyes. Now, does it have that influence on our Chetana, because of which we are different from Kshetra and I mean from the other beings? That does it have influence even on that Chetana, which is the very cause of our existence? Does it I mean like I had read when I was in college, that for Vivekananda, that Chetana had grown so big, so that's why he had, I mean, the physical body could not uh, sustain that, and then uh, does it have the influence, that jnana, that I'm not this body, I am different from the body? Does it have the influence on Chetana?
I don't know whether I've got your question right, Bella. Maybe you can frame it and you can ask Nana tomorrow. But one thing is, um, when your awareness is so much that you're talking of an enlightened person. I've also read somewhere, I think it is this Ramana Maharshi's video only, where it is like the energy so much, it cannot be contained in a small body. I don't know whether that is what you're also meaning.
Yeah.
That was one of the reasons why they said why enlightened beings go through a lot of pain. When enlightened masters, as though, go through a lot of pain, is because that amount of energy that they are in cannot be contained in this small, limited physical body. That was the explanation given, but I'm not sure whether that satisfies your question. But maybe you can frame your question and put it up in tomorrow's class.
But that vibrations probably spread to others, right? Like that good vibrations. That's what they say. Like in the presence of that person, like you feel calm. I mean, people go and visit a lot of people, go and visit them and all that, right? And the mind is again, it's not contained. Mind is vast. Like even though it's in your head, but there isn't any limit to that. I believe that because of the thoughts and whatnot. But the body is limited.
The question came because the question was asked in today's session, no, that our prakriti is the cause. I mean, our prakriti, and that is again the same, like which is the causal body, which is giving rise to the birth and death cycle. So does it get diminished because the Chetana has increased? So that prakriti, which is responsible for taking birth, our own prakriti, so it gets diminished, right? It means, as per today's discussion.
No, once the person knows, once he gets that aparokshanubhuti, then there is no question of the other prakriti being there. All of it gets extinguished, isn't it? All of it gets extinguished. There is no there is no only whatever little remains is the prarabdha which remains, but he is relieved of all his sanchita karma and all that. So
Okay, Brahmaraji, I will once again go
yeah,
through today's
I think
discussion.
maybe
Today's
you can
lecture of
yeah, maybe you frame your question. Maybe I'm not sure whether I've got your question right.
yeah. No, I have to go through the discussion today's once again. I will go through and then I will frame.
Yeah.
Dhanyavad.
So the other today we started from shloka 25, no? 24 says dhyanen atmani pashyanti kechidatmanamatmana anye sankhena yogena karma yogena chapare. This is what was discussed yesterday. By contemplation in the mind, some see the self with the self, with the prepared mind, others by knowledge, and others by karma yoga. Whereas anye tvevamajanantah shrutvanyebhya upasate tepi chati tarantyeva mrityum shruti parayanaha. But others, not knowing in this manner, having heard from others, their teachers, being committed to what they have heard, follow, and indeed they also cross death. Yavat sangyayate kinchit satvam sthavara jangamam kshetra kshetrajna samyogat tadvidhi bharatarshabha. Yavat, as long as kinchit sattvam, any existent thing, sthavara jangamam, mobile or immobile, sangyayate, is born, tat vidhi, that may you know, kshetra kshetra samyogat, because of the connection between the kshetra and the kshetrajna. Bharatarshabha, Arjuna, foremost of the Bharatas. As long as any existent thing, mobile or immobile, is born, that, may you know, Arjuna, is because of the connection between the kshetra and the kshetrajna. I don't know whether here we can draw a parallel between the dreamer and the dream, because there is that connection between the I, that is the dreamer, and the dream object, whatever the person or the object that is coming up in the dream, there is that connection, and that connection is nothing but ajnana, which is maya, which is kind of encompassing these two. Therefore, the dreamer, the dream object is born.
Can you say that again? I didn't get that. Can you?
No, here it says, no, it is whenever anything existent or not, either mobile or immobile is born, may you know that that is the connection between the kshetra and the kshetrajna. If it was only kshetrajna, there is no question of kshetra. But there is the kshetra that is born. That is all the starting from the Panchamahabhutas.
Yeah, this is when you asked
body.
about the mountain and the question.
Right,
That,
right.
okay, so they are all like that 5 elements.
Because Nana was talking about, he of course was giving the example of the jiva, the kshetrajna, from where the jiva is born. It is because of that envelopment of the ignorance. Similarly, I was trying to draw a parallel between the waker when he goes into the dream state, that when he dreams, he is creating the dream object, the dream image, or the dream person. So when that is born, isn't it, in the dream?
Right.
But how is that born? It is because of this, the of ignorance. I was trying to draw a parallel between that.
Okay, but then how is that related to this? I mean, the other immobile things, they are all also part of, I mean, they are also kshetra.
Also
right?
part of the kshetra.
Kshetra, right. And it's all pervading, means it's even those things also pervaded by Brahma. That's an essential nature, right? Okay, got it.
So that means actually even the whole Jagat, if you're talking of as long as any existent thing, mobile or immobile, is born, that way you know, Arjuna, is because of the connection between the kshetra and the kshetrajna. So the entire Jagat, the entire creation itself, it's born, isn't it? Creation. The very fact that it's created, it means it's born.
Yeah.
So if we understand that, at one point there was only kshetrajna, there was only Brahma.
And then the whole universe is become a creation.
About. Correct. So that creation, that connection between the kshetra and the kshetrajna is
so everything is connected between the kshetra and kshetrajna.
I think one of the, I think 2-3 days back, I was asking it. So, is the Prakriti born out of Kshetrajna? Then Mananaji said, no, it is a part of Kshetrajna. It is not created or born.
It is the power, no? It is the power of the Kshetrajna.
Power, yeah.
Maya is a power.
Yeah.
It is the
when the word he uses Maya Janitam, that means when you are born with this body, that comes with that Prakriti. Right? I mean, the Prakriti, I also based on the samskara, somebody else asked that question today, and so that's part of that as well, from previous actions and whatnot.
Yeah, we'll come to that shloka. samam sarveshu bhuteshu tishtantam parameshwaram vinashyatva vinashyantam yah pashyati sapashyati. Sarveshu bhuteshu, in all beings, samam, the same.
Yeah, this is another beautiful verse, right?
Yeah.
Yah pashyati and sa pashyati.
Vinashyatsu, among the things that are perishing, avinashyantam, as one who is not being destroyed, parameshwaram, the Lord, yah pashyati, the one who sees, saha pashyati, he sees. The one who sees the Lord remaining the same in all beings as the one who is not being destroyed among the things that are perishing, he alone sees. And I think, was it here that Nana quoted that beautiful verse from one of the Upanishads?
Kena Upanishad,
From
right?
Kena Upanishad, it is that Asti
That
Bhati.
Trishya Rasa.
I
Go
can't
ahead.
get the whole verse, but the gist of it is there are five things. Asti Bhati Priti Nama
Oh,
Rupa.
Priyam. Asti Bhati Priyam
Priyam,
and Nama Rupa.
Nama
So
Rupa.
those are five, like the three is the Brahma thing, and then this is the
The other
last two,
two
Jagat,
are related to the Jagat.
yeah, Jagat formers of um, the Brahma. I don't know, we can't call Brahma, but he used some word for Jagat Rupa or Jagat something. I forgot. Yeah, you're right. The
So
five names.
that Asti, I think the example given was
That
the
right.
different items made out
Pot.
of clay, out of mud. You see them
Right.
all in that exhibited. But what is that isness? Isness, even if you destroy the Nama Rupa, if you destroy the pot, the
Right.
mud is still there. So the
Yeah.
isness is an attribute of the Kshetrajna of Brahma. And then also Bhati. It is the sentient thing. It is awareness, it's consciousness. Then Priyam. Priyam is it is Ananda Swarup.
Yeah. Satchit Ananta. So what is your nature? Satchit Ananta. That's what you have to say it. You have to keep
And
remembering.
also that beautiful verse from what was that? I don't know which Upanishad was it. He was quoting where the teacher asks the student whether he is
Kena
happy.
Upanishad, yeah, that's the
That
one he was asking.
Kenopanishad also.
Yeah. That's the one he said that the teacher asked the student, Shishya, did you realize Brahman? Or then he was singing that song, right? Na aham something. That he has indirect knowledge, but he hasn't got it yet. So we are all in the same boat. That's how.
Right. But in that, I didn't quite understand how the person who knows this knows. So we all know Brahman in a conceptual form.
Right.
It's just that we've not really got
Realize.
the Aparokshanubhuti. We've not got that direct experience we've not got. But
Yeah.
how is that the person who knows this knows Brahman? That is beautiful. Then we all know Brahman. We know this difference, no?
Yeah, the knowing is different from, you cannot see, you cannot perceive. It just happens. That's the way they put it, right? You don't perceive it, that kind of stuff. So you will reach that stage, then they know.
Hari Om.
it illumines your body. Maybe you shine after that.
I think, Hariom, I think that was a question answer between Guru and Shishya. As per my previous, the Shishya had gone for, the Guru asked him that what did you realize, Brahman? Then he said that I know, but I still have question. I realize that Brahman is very Satchitanand, and then he said go back again. So he goes back. I think that was a conversation between father and son or Guru and Shishya. Then again he goes for penance, and then he says that I'm not this body, I am not this, but then he still did not say. And the third time when he again goes for penance, and then he realized that I am that. So he did not have any question for the Guru, and then he said that I know now what it is, I am that. So
Yeah.
then Guru, yeah.
Yeah, what you're talking of is in the Taittiriya Upanishad, where it is, I think, between Bhrigu Maharshi and this, I don't know who the other one is. In that, the son keeps coming back, is being taught by the father, and he says first, he says he wants to know who is Brahman. The son wants to know. He says, go and meditate. So he comes back saying, Annam Brahme Divya Janat. He says everything is Brahma is nothing but Annam. Annam is Brahman, he says. He says, no, go back and meditate. Then he comes back with Pranam Brahma. So that way he goes on. Then ultimately, when he realizes, he does not come back. He revels in that, because then there is no, that is a point where you are left without any questions. That is in the Taittiriya Upanishad, but in today's class, Nana was talking of, I must be the Keno Upanishad, I don't know.
Yeah, even I did not hear properly Kaivalya Upanishad or Kena Upanishad.
No, they specifically said Keno Upanishad only in that question. I don't remember that the the rupas that we talked about. That's from that Upanishad. That's something else. I kind of missed that part, but I remember that. I mean, that's what I think. He said he carefully took the notes that particular song.
Yeah,
from,
that was that no
from
Manne
Naka.
Samveda. Yeah, I didn't write it down. We'll have to listen to that once more and write it down maybe. So I know what Brahman is, but I don't still have the experience. And the person who knows this knows was the meaning of that. So I was only wondering, how does the person who knows this actually know? So we are still on the way. We are on the path.
Yeah. You're talking about who's enlightened or self-realized,
Yeah.
who knows how they know it. Well, there is no more questions in their mind probably after that.
So because of seeing the Lord as the same, the one who obtains in the same form everywhere, he does not destroy himself by himself. Therefore, he goes to the ultimate end.
So in this particular one, they say you see it, even the things that is being destroyed, you see the Brahman who obtains the same form everywhere. He does not destroy himself. Therefore, he goes to the ultimate end. So what is this na hinasti? And then there is another place where it says bin nasti or something.
That was the previous shloka.
Oh yeah.
Yasvam vinashat. So although there is perishable things, he is the one who is imperishable.
So we moved to another sloka. I've been sitting in that one. Okay.
So
all right.
The meaning of he does not destroy himself by himself. Nana had given some explanation for this, no?
For the 28th sloka, I mean, there were so many quote today, I couldn't pick up the slokas from different chapter, that other chapters, I couldn't tell which chapter it is from. Oh, Samam Pasya, which one is this one? Is Prakriti? You're talking about
One is
Prakriti.
the samam
Samam
pashyati sarvatra, samavastit Vishwaram, nahi nastyatmanatmanam, tato yati param gatim.
So because this.
What I understand, he does not destroy himself by himself.
Who doesn't it destroy himself? Like, is it Atma they're talking about? Atma is not destructible.
No,
Is
he
it
is talking of a person who realizes, who experiences.
Oh, who realizes?
Yeah.
Mm. I don't remember. All these things are need recollection of so many things. Who retains the same form everywhere.
I think we'll ask Nana to just revisit that one more time. Prakrityaiva cha karmani kriyamanani sarvashaha yah pashyati tathatmanam akartaram sa pashyati. And he who sees that by Prakriti alone, actions are being performed in all ways, and so too, he who sees the self as a non-doer, he alone sees. So here that was the question that Sunita ji had raised, in that Prakriti here was, the meaning given was of Maya. But
Yeah.
she had the question of Prakriti also means the Prakriti, each individual's Prakriti, which is governed by the three gunas, Sattva, Rajas, Tamo gunas. So is it that we are not doing anything and Prakriti alone is doing? Is it this? Or is it the Prakriti, the Maya, that is the non-doer?
When you say Prakriti is a nature, right? Is that the real meaning? When you say Prakriti, what does it mean? I mean, it's one meaning only.
I think it is a combination of both Prakriti and our Purushartha also. Under the influence of Prakriti, our Purushartha is expressed. Prakriti is there. Without the Prakriti, we cannot exist only. No? Our bodies and our minds cannot exist without Prakriti. But it's a combination of Prakriti and our own Purushartha.
The combination of our free will as well as our Prakriti. We are born because of the sum total of our vasanas. We have that karma. From that little bit of prarabdha karma, we take this birth, and that governs our attitudes and how our actions are in this birth. Although that is there, although we are driven by that, we cannot say we are the non-doer completely, because we have the free will also to do, not to do, or do otherwise. So it is a combination, like Madhuri ji had said. But then here what is mentioned in this shloka, as I understand, it is looking at it is the distinction between the Purusha and the Prakriti. It is only Prakriti that acts, that does, and it is um, the Purusha, the Kshetrajna, is the one who is non-doer. The self as a non-doer.
It is always non-doer, right? I mean, it's not
Correct.
any time. It's
Correct.
always like it's non-doer and it's only witness the action
Correct.
or anything. Yeah, that's happening. So, I get confused with this Prakriti all the time.
Yeah. Here,
So that is a
Prakriti,
combination of, you said what, the Purushartha? Purushartha is like more of a
free will.
karma. Uh-huh.
Free will, no? Your free will.
Oh, I see. Okay.
This
And
Purushartha and this
Prarabdha.
also, Prakriti also is the Kshetra only, not
but
Kshetrajna.
when you say
Under the
Purushartha means that's more of a desires, right? Like karma, artha, dharma, moksha. That those are things are called Purushartha. That's what I thought. Then what is Purushartha that to do with this? I mean, that's your wish that you
Yeah, that
follow
is
some
the free will that distinguishes us from all the animals, no? The
animals. Yeah.
Purushartha is
Yeah.
what distinguishes us. And the
Okay.
Purushartha is of four types. What is it? Can be Artha, Dharma, Kama, and Moksha.
Karma. Right.
So that free will is that thing uh, that governs our um, our actions. Although, see, the vasanas, the prarabdha karma determines what your attitudes are, what your, for
Your
instance,
tendency.
yeah, if there are two, like what Swami Surya Padaji had mentioned once, he says, if two people are walking by a lane and there is an alcohol, a wine shop, one of them may be drawn towards it, the other is not drawn towards it.
Mm-hmm.
Why is the first person drawn? Is because of his previous vasanas. So that is his
Mm,
prakriti. But then he has the free will. Whether he exercises the free will or not depends on whether he goes into the shop and actually drinks that glass of wine or he walks away. So
mm,
that free will is what distinguishes us from animals. That is the Purushartha. So if
mm-hmm.
he um, so there that distinction is whether that non-doer, see, there is that element of doership there, isn't it? When you talk of free will, there is an
Mm-hmm.
element of doership, but
Right.
it is in the form of a jiva, not in the form of not in the form of Brahman or Kshetrajna.
Brahman. Kshetrajna.
It is at the level of the mind that there is that doership there.
Right.
But once you realize, once you remove that veil of ignorance, even that, where is the free will then? There is no free will. There's no kind of role for the free will because you merge with your true nature.
Mm,
Correct? So maybe
right.
till that distinction, yes, there is that Purushartha is required. But otherwise, at one level, when you look at it, there is no doership at all. I mean, it is only Prakriti that is doing.
Mm,
But then where is the free will? Prakriti
That,
is doing fine, but then
that is why
somewhere.
we are all here on the Zoom meeting. If we were all driven by only Prakriti, we
Yeah.
would have been sleeping or doing
Yeah.
something else.
And one more question: the Purushartha is only free will, or is it Prakriti-driven actions also?
It could be Prakriti driven actions also because of our own
But still,
samskaras. We are here on this meeting because of what we've done in the previous birth, or maybe even in this birth, because of the Ishwaranugraha, our prayers or whatever we've done, whatever sattvic acts we have done, we this situation has been created and we are here. So it's actually a combination. You cannot really tease it out and say it is only because of Prakriti or only because of free will. I guess it's intertwined both together.
So all the actions are Purushartha, right?
Mostly, yeah, all actions are Purushartha, right? If you're only going by Prakriti, no, then there's no difference between you and an animal. You behave like an animal. No, maturity comes in, emotional maturity comes in. The more sensitive you are, the more free will you are exercising to do, not to do, or do otherwise. And I don't know where, in which context Nana mentioned in the 18th chapter, there are 3 kinds of karma phalas, no? Ishta, Ishtam,
Anishta
Manishtam,
and Mishra.
Mishram. So one is a combination of both Ishta and Anishta. Then one is the things that you like, things that you don't, the phala that you like, phala that you don't like, dislike, and a combination of both. I can't remember in what context he had mentioned that.
Yeah, even once we read, no, the phala is what you expect, what do you expect more
But
than
you don't,
and less than that, or what
Correct.
it is.
Less than that, more than that, or completely
Different.
Hmm.
there is this akartaram when you're non-doer, then you don't need, you don't do any karma, and there's no karma phala.
There's
Like
no
that.
karma phala, no. Where
Yeah.
is the karma? I think it was in this context he had mentioned that.
Yeah, akartaram, so that's when
Akartaram.
when
Correct.
he mentioned that he said that there's no karma phala. So this is the one that meditating upon, like that akartaram. There was another one with aksharam, and there was something else in that previous verse that came. It's very beautiful verse. This one is very nice.
So Nana has been reiterating time and again, which is good, which is actually true also. It is not for us
Going
to
to the
build up our
basics.
spiritual ego, but it is for us to be grateful, be in that space of gratitude, so that will help us stay more committed to this path. Is that of millions of people, not
I know. We don't want to
knowledge.
Yeah.
And having been inclined, even getting to know that the difference between Maya, Brahma, Jiva, all of this, being
Exactly.
introduced to this knowledge itself is a big blessing.
Yeah, I mean that, definitely it may elevate your ego, but this is where we have to be humble, and
Correct. That is why
it is more of encouragement, and time and again he mentions that way, hey, listen, you don't show up here to walk down. And
Without
then
gratitude,
with the grace of God,
without gratitude,
definitely we have to be together. That's
right.
good.
without gratitude, it won't happen only, for sure.
Right.
Nothing will
That
go
is why
in.
that amanitvam, madambitvam, ahimsa, all those things, time and again, if we keep recollecting, where you are not vain, you're not conceited, you're not
complete.
You're not doing this as an ego exercise to bloat up your ego. You're doing it with that sincerity to know the truth.
Yeah. That is true, but at the same time, we want to not comparing ourselves to other people, right? I mean, our goal is to get there, so we have to focus on that, not drawn into this this issue. Yeah, amanitvam, adambitvam, ahimsa, shanti, arjavam, acharyo
Asanam.
asanam. Oh yeah,
Acharyopasanam. then
Acharyo
Shaurya,
Pasanam
Shaucham,
Strayam and Atma
Atma Vinigraha.
Vinigraha. Wow.
Humility also. This is one of the first things is to be humble.
Yes,
You know,
most important. Humility.
Yeah, the more and more you learn this, I think you become humble. I mean, because you are not any better than other person, because all of them are Brahma. So in that context, if you see you, nobody is higher or lower than you. So it's all the same in the means you have same respect to other people. I was just
And
yeah, go ahead.
lot of reverence is also needed. Then only the Krishna in our hearts will shine, and all this knowledge will dawn inside us. Otherwise, it is just a mind intellect game.
in fact, even Bhagavan had mentioned this. What was that? Manushyanam sahasreshu kaschit yatati siddhaye yatatam api siddhanam kaschinmam veti tatvatah. So he says, of millions of people, thousands of people, only
Mm,
few will actually think about me. And
mm,
even amongst those, there is only one who will actually know me. So he himself
right,
has given this comparison only, I
right,
guess, to put people to make them steadfast on the path.
right.
See, yoke to this path itself is a blessing. And
Yeah, where is that sloka come? The Manushyanam, that one.
I think it must be in one of the later chapters. I think we've not come across that
Come to that one.
yet.
But we read that somewhere else also, right? Or maybe I don't know where we read that, because I remember that the meaning of it, like you said,
Yeah.
like, yeah. Anyway, that's good. The other slokas he mentioned, which chapter is that one? Na Jayate or something like that.
Najayate Driyate va. That was in chapter 2.
To that one, but something else he mentioned. I thought it was Karma Yoga, but it's not. I don't remember what this was. Anyway, when we go back and
Yeah. So we'll read a bit of chapter 12. So we stopped here yesterday, thereby protecting dharma. What was that? Therefore, protecting dharma will protect your sukha and thereby your purushartha, what you want to accomplish. With the protection of dharma, your jnana is also protected. Otherwise, you will be fanning raga dvesha, which can never be satisfied. Like fire, they are called anala because they never say enough. The more you feed them, the more they want. If you cannot meditate, Krishna tells Arjuna, be a karma yogi, performing all actions for the sake of me. Madartham karmani kurvan. You will gain success. Siddhim avapsyasi. What can be the success for a karma yogi? Siddhi means moksha. Here, Shankara says it is through the gain of knowledge. Merely performing actions for Ishvara's sake does not ensure siddhi or success. But in performing all actions for Ishvara, your ahankara will be deflated and raga dvesha neutralized. that will bring increased composure and enable you to meditate to gain jnana. Even this, the swadhyaya we're doing, even the satsang that we're doing is also a form of karma, isn't it? So if we do this for Ishvara's sake, that way also our ahankara will be sublimated, will be deflated. Even by doing karma for my sake, you will reach me. If you meditate on Akshara Brahma, you will reach me. If you meditate on me and do karma yoga, you will reach me. If that is not possible, do karma yoga and then also you will reach me. It may seem from this that there are alternate paths for moksha. To dismiss this notion, Shankara uses the word yoga jnana prapti dvarena avapsyasi. Gaining maturity by karma yoga, through knowledge, you will gain moksha. We must be very clear. There cannot be any accommodation in this. So Shankara is very clear that it is only through knowledge that you will gain moksha. And karma yoga is only to gain that maturity and preparedness. So that is one basic thing that has to be kind of understood. The practice of Ashtanga yoga is to develop enough composure and concentration to hold an object in one's mind for a length of time. This dharana shakti is the aim of abhyasa. Thereby, one can meditate upon the Vishwarupa. So, abhyasa is part of Vishwarupa dhyana, meditation upon the Lord as Saguna Brahma. If even that is not possible, do your action for the sake of Ishvara and you will gain success, Siddhi. Siddhi here is first Antakarana Shuddhi, purification of the mind, which is freedom from the hold of Raga Dvesha. When they are no longer an obstruction for you, you have Antakarana Shuddhi. Since you have no pratibandha are obstructions or obstacles, you can gain jnana. Here, Shankara points out the dependence of knowledge and meditation upon mental preparedness. When you are prepared, you have the capacity for dhyana and jnana, and therefore you will gain siddhi or success, which here
What is
means moksha.
pratibandha is like, is that some kind of...
It's an obstacle, like it's an obstruction.
Oh, pratibandha is an obstruction, okay.
Like raga, dvesha are pratibandhakas, no? Your ahankara is a pratibandhaka, your attachment, mamakara is a pratibandhaka. So all these are pratibandhakas. So when you're performing action as a karma yogi, you are releasing the hold, the grip of raga dvesha on you. So you're releasing those obstructions. Those obstructions are losing their hold on you. So that creates a situation for knowledge to dawn, for meditation to happen. So when you are prepared, you have the capacity for dhyana and jnana, and therefore you will gain siddhi or success, which here means moksha. Being a mat karma parama, the one for whom Ishvara Pita karma is most important. Ishvararpita karma, sorry. For the one for whom Ishvararpita karma is most important. That is, you are doing everything unto Ishvara, is not easy either. For that, you must have an awareness of Ishvara when you perform actions and a capacity to make your own personal likes and dislikes subserve dharma and adharma. Even though you may be able to follow dharma and adharma, You cannot dedicate all karmas to Ishvara when you have personal interests. If you need to fulfill various likes and dislikes for your own security and pleasure, and yet want moksha also, that means preparedness, which is maturity, or vairagya, is lacking. When vairagya is inadequate, it is very difficult to dedicate all karma to Ishvara because of self-interest. What shall we do about that? If you find that is not possible, that the raga dveshas themselves control you, don't worry. Bhagavan offers an alternative in the next verse. So I will just read the first few sentences again. Even though you may be able to follow dharma and adharma, you cannot dedicate all karmas to Ishvara when you have personal interests. If you need to fulfill various likes and dislikes for your own security and pleasure, and yet want moksha also, that means preparedness, which is maturity or vairagya, is lacking. So when vairagya is inadequate, it is very difficult to dedicate all karmas to Ishvara because of self-interest. What shall we do about that? So the alternate that Bhagavan gives is what? Athai kartumadyogamashritah sarvakarma phalatyagam tatah kuru yatatmavan. Atha then, madhyogam ashritah, being one whose practice or commitment is dedicating all actions to me, etatapi, even this, kartum, to do, ashaktaha asi, if you are not able, tataha then, yatatmavan, being one whose mind is disciplined, sarva karma phalatyagam kuru, give up the results of all actions to me. Then, even if you are not able to do this, being one whose practice or commitment is dedicating all actions to me, then being one whose mind is disciplined, give up the results of all actions to me. Sarva karma phalatyaga. Bhagavan says, even if you cannot be committed to offering all actions to me, atha etadapi asaktosi kartum madhyogam ashritaha, there is still no problem if you have a disciplined mind. That is, if you are a yatatmavan. If your mind is undisciplined and turbulent, this does not apply. So there is a precondition for this. You have to clear that up first. But if you have some mastery over yourself, yet cannot give up all karmas to Ishvara, he says, then give up the results of all action. Sarva karma phalatyagam tatah kuru. Impelled by your likes and dislikes, go about doing your karma. Even if they are self-centered, fulfill them as long as they do not transgress dharma. But when the results come, renounce them all in the sense of graciously accepting them as prasada from Ishvara. Krishna is not talking about renunciation of all karma here. That is jnana sannyasa, which, as we saw in the 4th chapter, is possible only by the knowledge that Atma is akarta. With that knowledge, one does not give up activity, but while performing action, he knows he is free from all action. Then there are the karma yogis who perform all karma, offering it to Ishvara, and also take the karma phala as given by Ishvara. At both levels, Ishvara is involved. This is true Karma Yoga. In
You
the
know, I
first,
posted one small thing about
yeah,
that cobbler and the dog. You know, there it is clearly, you know, he says everything is, he is doing it. It's not I am doing it. So that's more like you surrender, you give it to Yeshwara, right? Without it, all the karmas that you're doing, that you're not the doer.
yeah. Honestly, I didn't go through. I didn't have the time to read your
No, it's okay. It just it was it's kind of simple thing, but it's an eye opener, you know, like the
yeah.
way conversation goes there. Yeah, I had to read it again, you know, the more you get in there. Yeah. Yeah.
So no, but when you're doing karma yoga, no. See, when you're talking of non-doership, that is what Swamiji had mentioned here is the jnana sannyasa, wherein
Mm,
you look at yourself as akarta. You're looking at um, yourself as a non-doer, but as a karma yogi, there is that element of kartritva there. No? You're doing an action, but you're offering it to the Lord. You're offering it to Him. And whatever
mm.
result you get, you take it as Lord's prasad. So there is the
That's a
kartritva is
karma
there,
yoga,
the
right?
bhoktritva is
Mhm.
also there.
That's the one we talk about, Kartrutva Bhavana.
Yeah.
Okay, got it. Okay.
So
But that non-doership is, as you said, yeah, that's right. Jnana,
jnana
yeah,
sannyasa.
is, yeah, sarva, what do you call them? Sarva karma
Sarva
sannyas.
karma sannyasa.
Yeah, sarva karma
Correct.
sannyas. Yeah.
Even
So
Guruji, many times he says, right? If you think he's doing it, then he's the enjoyer of that phala also. You have to
correct.
take that stride. But if you feel that you are doing it, then you will have to enjoy the fruits of it.
That is what he gives the example of a person who says, I will steal, I will rob. I'm not the one doing it is the Lord who's doing. So I'll rob, I'll steal, or I'll murder or something. Then Gurudev says, yes, even the police is also, they will come and take you to jail. There also you're not the experiencer. So if you're willing to let go of that experiencer of going to the jail, experience of going to jail, then you go, you do whatever. But so you have the point there was when you want to let go saying I'm not the doer, you also have to let go of the experiencer, isn't it? But if you want to enjoy the results but not take responsibility for your action, that doesn't hold. You cannot let go there. So I don't know whether I've confused you people.
No, no, you're right. Not confused
Not confused, no?
at
Yeah,
all.
yeah. So should I just, I don't know how long this one. I will just read this one little paragraph. Not all of this, not all of this. I will just read this one para and tomorrow we'll continue. So if the first part is not possible, you can do the second part. That is, the first part is what? Doing actions unto him. If that's not possible, you can do the second part. That is sarva karma phala tyagam kuru. Renounce all results of action. This is what first part not possible is. You still have some raga dveshas, you still have that self-interest, little bit is there. You cannot do everything for the sake of Ishvara. You're still doing something. That vairagya is not complete. Your mind is not totally prepared. Then at least then you do the sarva karma phala tyagam. How does one renounce all the results of action? Whatever result comes, you take it as given by Ishvara. You become the karta and Bhagavan, the karma phala data, the one who gives the results of action. There are two functions for Ishvara. One is Karmadhyaksha, the Lord who presides over the laws of karma, without whom no karma is possible. With that appreciation, you will have very mild raga dvesha. If they are predominant, so that it is not possible to offer all karmas to Ishvara, when the karma phala comes to you, take it as something from Ishvara. That means you have offered the karma phala to him. This is very common in India. While cooking the food, they may not think of Ishvara. Certainly, when they flavor the food, they are not thinking of Ishvara's taste, but of people who are going to eat. After cooking it, however, they offer the food to Ishvara. The way in which the food turns out is determined by the laws of Ishvara. These ingredients put together in this way produces a given result. Therefore, you cannot say the laws have changed, so my food is not good. There can be a dosa, a mistake in, there can be a dosha, a mistake in your karma because of some difficulty. But the laws do not commit any mistake. Therefore, the karma phala, the food that comes to you after cooking, is from Ishvara. This much awareness is not very difficult to acquire. So, sarva karma phalatyaga is relatively easy. So, this is the bottommost rung of the whole thing.
Yeah. So after you do all this and then you just say you are Padam and give it to the god.
Correct. So this is, if you put up an ascending ladder, the bottommost is Sarva Karma Phalatyagam. Second is dedicating all actions unto him. Mat Karma Paramu Bhava. And then beyond that is the Ashtanga Yoga. And then you have meditation. And then you have, what was the first one?
Dhyana, contemplation, you mean?
Dhyana, right?
Dhyana.
This beautifully explained, no? The thinking and the prasad.
Yeah.
I mean, instantly you get that.
When you start cooking,
so
you know, you
self
dosa.
No. I know, you know,
I know, I got the
dosa coming from the kitchen. So I was saying there can
exactly.
be it's actually not dosa, it is dosha.
Yeah, it's dosha.
So see, when you're cooking food, you're cooking according to your taste.
Right.
You don't know what Ishvara's taste is. You don't know. It is not for him that you're doing. You're doing it for your own raga dvesha. You want it a little spicy, or you want it a little sweet. So you add all those ingredients, you're doing it for your own sake. So there's no vairagya there. You're still not completely doing it for Ishvara's sake. If you're doing it for Ishvara's sake, you just blindly be putting whatever. But you're doing it to make sure that the taste comes out well so you can enjoy it. So then at least after you've cooked, you offer it as prasada, and however it comes out, whether it's tasty, not tasty, you offer it as, take it as karma phala. Yeah. So shall we stop here today? Om Loka Samasta Sukhino Bhavantu. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Sarvam Shri Krishnarpanamastu.
Good day, Doctor.
Dhanyavad.